Morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to L.I.N.K Live. My name is Marina Mayer, Editor-in-Chief of Food Logistics and Supply and Demand Chain Executive.
And I'm Brielle and I'm the Associate Editor.
And I'm Mackenna Morales, and I am the Assistant Editor.
And today we are talking about workforce woes. I recently came across a survey from Monster that talks about why workers change jobs. And I know we've kind of all felt this in our little community. We felt it in the industry with, the pandemic and everything. But an overwhelmingly 95% of respondents from that survey state worker burnout as the #1 reason, followed by lack of opportunities for job growth. And, we cover an industry that's filled with essential workers who literally jumped into overdrive and have been working in overdrive since March of 2020. So I'm kind of not surprised. A separate survey from Morning Consult said that some 53% of survey respondents would retrain for a career in a different industry if they were given the chance. 4 out of 10 folks said they would consider quitting if their company was inflexible about working from home. And government data even shows that nearly 4 million people quit their jobs in April of 2021 to potentially pursue better or more lucrative positions or rethink their career path. So here we are, we have a driver shortage, we have a labor shortage. Earlier this week on my Twitter handle, I posted a photo that says, "The world is short-staffed, please be kind." And that's really what is going on. I wrote about it in my cover story for Food Logistics July issue. It's on foodlogistics.com right now. It talks about food service distribution, restaurants, and there's a shortage over there. I know we've covered this in previous SDN Summit sessions as well. So what gives? Ladies, I'm gonna open it up to you. I'm just floored that there's still a shortage of employees, but then people are rethinking their careers. It's like upside down. Who wants to go?
I mean, I have a lot of points to make. I have a lot of thoughts on this because I think everyone feels like there's a lot of people who are like upset that people don't want to work right now and feel that, it's not fair that people are staying home to make more money on unemployment and things like that. But I just think it just shows, I made this point to you guys earlier in the week that, this is obviously thousands of years ago, but after the Black Plague was the first time in history where the middle class started to exist because there were so many people out. There was such a lack of workforce because so many people had died that the lower class was able to have some say. They were like, no, I'm not working for this low wage. And the upper class who needed these people to work had no leverage because they needed these jobs filled. So that's how the middle class was kind of created. And I think it's just history repeating itself. We're having that same issue where people are realizing, I don't want to risk my life and do all these, backbreaking work and be exposed for, less benefits, not as much pay. And it's just, I think we really need to treat our workers better. For so long, we have been, it's been in the hand of the employers and these big businesses that really care about their bottom line. And I'm not saying that every big business is bad. Obviously, there's good and bad people in this world, but I just think we have to stop and take a look at, these are people that are working for you. And, if they want, if they're happier making not that much money on unemployment and sitting home, I think you need to stop and take a look at your business and figure out why, people aren't willing to work for you. You have to make, you have to implement technology that they want to use, not just for the sake of implementing technology. You have to create an inclusive workplace. You have to, make benefits that are good for the worker, not just because it sounds good on paper. You really have to talk to your workforce and figure out what the best options are and how to make this an inclusive work environment for everyone. And I think that's really important in the warehousing space where there's a big gap and so many people are looking, we have so much e-commerce going on, so it's being exacerbated. So we really need to stop and take a look at, how to best empower these employees. And Brand.
I was gonna say, McKenna, were you gonna talk or no?
I just really agree with Brielle. And when you told us that this was going to be the topic the other day, I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to keep my cool during this, because everybody says that nobody wants to work anymore, that they make more money on unemployment. That's just not true. It's not true, because the minimum wage in Wisconsin is $7.25.
Exactly.
And you're trying to slam these people for working minimum wage jobs and then tell them to get better jobs. So when they're making more money and you're upset that you can't get your burger from McDonald's, it's because you're telling them to do better. So they're trying to do better. And then the most people that are on minimum wage jobs are single women with children. They're single moms, and they're just trying to provide. They're just trying to provide, and I don't get it. We laugh at these videos of Karens that are just screaming at restaurant workers and retail employees, and we're saying how it's funny, but these are real people, and these are real people that are impacted by it, and people are just working. They're working so hard. The ones that are in stores or in restaurants are working to provide services that we need. So I don't get why people just aren't being kind, and the pandemic is not over. And people need to realize that. And the pandemic is still affecting supply chains. For example, this is Brielle made me feel emotions. But Frito-Lay workers are currently on strike in Topeka, Kansas, and they're citing low wages and 84-hour work weeks. Let me say that again, 84-hour work weeks. They're saying that there's 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, including suicide shifts, where they only have 8 hours off in between their next shifts. So basically, they get the required amount of sleep, maybe. But they went on strike to see a change in scheduling and with an end to forced overtime in the short period between shifts. And it's to the point where Twitter users are posting pictures and videos from their local grocery stores that are hanging signs that are saying, due to labor issues at the Topeka Frito-Lay plant, we are out of some Frito-Lay products. So if people aren't going to be treated well by their employer, you're not going to get your products. That's what it comes down to. Businesses, I understand. The bottom line is important, but so are the people that work for you. You have to care about your employees. And if you're not doing it during this pandemic, then you're probably never going to do it.
Well, and I agree. And I feel like we do cover a lot of companies who put their people first. We've given them many awards. We've put them on the covers of our magazines. We've interviewed them, et cetera. But you're right. There are companies out there who, this study just shows, it's burnout. You get burned out as a human being from working in overtime, and then you get home and realize, well, what's it for? What's it worth? What am I doing? It's time away from my family, time away from my kids. It's time away from doing things that I want to do. For what? What do you have to show for it? And I think the other good point to that is that, there's a lack of what I feel, not a lack of education, but I feel like, we've interviewed a lot of these trucking companies and the associations that these trucking companies are members of. And part of the things we always talk about is the driver shortage, and there needs to be more education along all fields of the supply chain as to why, this industry is important. Yes, they're essential workers, but if they're going to be burnt out and working all these shifts, then again, what is it for? What is it worth? So I think that that's important. And I think it's important for companies to kind of recognize that, there are people that want to work. They just need to have the ability to do what they want to do in the way that they want to do it. And I think that that's important, to be protected and to be safe and to be cared for and appreciated, and all of these things that we all look for as human beings in our jobs. For those looking to enter or advance their career in the supply chain industry, we do have a site for you. Check out supplychainlearningcenter.com. You can view all of the available courses from our current partners that we work with. They offer certifications ranging from procurement, planning, and inventory management to logistics, transportation, distribution, and supply chain management as a whole. It's a very important resource for you, for a lot of those that are kind of in that flux, trying to figure out what to do. Maybe they're entering the supply chain, maybe they're in it and they're looking to advance. There's opportunities out there. There are people who, I promise you, who are willing to work with you to advance your career. We just have to all work together, and to Brielle and Mackenna's point, be kind to each other. So thank you for all of the companies that we talked to that continue to put their employees first. Let's hope that everybody can learn from that. And that's a wrap. Hope to see you again next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central. Same time, same place, same great supply chain news you can use. Welcome, and thank you for joining us at L.I.N.K Live.